The longest drive of my life. Was I 100% confident about the drive? Of course not. For me to be back in the truck at this point was a mental juggling match between what could be faith and what could be insanity. Either way, the truth would have to be known on this night, for sure. So let's just take a ride and see. As I began driving to the location, the ride seemed unnervingly long for such a short distance. I guess that was because of all that was going through my mind. I could feel both excitement and nervousness sparking inside of me. My mind was racing all over the place. I began to think that maybe I was having a mental breakdown or something. I mean, come on. How could I possibly know the location of my black bag? What if I was wrong? Had I become a religious fanatic or even a lunatic? I've seen many cases where people take this religious thing way too far. And what I was thinking in that moment was that maybe I was one of them. Wow, I never saw this one coming. Either way this went though, this was going to be a long night. This was definitely a defining moment in my life. Although no one except my wife knew what I was attempting, I was putting it all on the line. I say this mainly because if I was wrong, how could I honestly say anything to anyone ever again spiritually? Seriously, this possible error would definitely put me in the category of a religious madman, if no more than in my own eyes. I began thinking, if I turned around right now, I might be able to save myself from the embarrassment and what possibly lay ahead waiting for me. I could pull back from this situation before I got in too deep. It wasn't too late. Although, to be totally honest, I sort of knew deep down inside that turning around was not an option. I finally reached 159th Street, which was not too far from my house. 159th Street was where the overpass was located. The overpass was the hill I had seen in my meditation. This all was too surreal. I began to drive towards the overpass very slowly. Instead of looking for my bag, I tried to drive to the exact viewpoint I saw in my meditation. When I got close enough to that location on top of the bridge, I then pulled my truck over. I could clearly see the McDonald's sign perfectly from where I was sitting. It was the exact same view as I had seen in my meditation. Man, I was nervous. I couldn't believe this was happening. I just sat there for a moment, trying to take all of it in. Then I finally got out of my truck and started to slowly walk a few feet. Even though the road was covered with snow, I could clearly see that there was no object lying in the road. Then after walking a few more feet, I suddenly saw something. The total mind-blowing part was that the object was not lying directly on the road. Believe it or not, it was lying about 2 feet down a ravine in the grass. That's when I just suddenly stopped, dead in my tracks. I started to think to myself, oh my God, if this is my bag, what does this mean? How is this even possible? It's one truly amazing thing to be guided to this location, but to now find something that's not even in plain sight is absolutely bananas. Well, let's walk towards the bag and see. I walked a few feet, knelt down, and brushed the snow away from the object that I saw lying in the grass, and immediately I realized it was my bag. Although it might sound crazy, but I actually started looking around to see if maybe there was some hidden television cameras somewhere. Maybe this was some kind of big joke. Amazingly, it didn't take long for reality to really set in. It was as if time just suddenly stopped. What kept registering through my mind was the image of me standing on the side of the road in the middle of the night in the snow holding the bag. It just didn't make any sense. The more I thought about it, the more mind-boggling it became. Then out of nowhere, the tears just started to pour down my face. I just began to scream, thank you, thank you, thank you, Father. I wasn't thanking my Father for finding the bag. Oh no, I was thanking Him for His nearness to me. I was thanking Him for His guidance. I was thanking my Father for intervening in my life to such a degree. I was thanking Him for proving that miracles still do happen. The gratitude given that night was purely for my Father's amazing grace.